Hey, good afternoon, guys. This is Simon with Trading Perform Coaching. It's 11:45 a.m. Central Time, and this is just a brief review of this morning's trade, both what we missed and what we got right and what we got wrong, and how the day set up. Most importantly, to begin with, first of all, past performance is not indicative of future results. Trading futures is risky. Make sure you consult an investment professional, make sure that you are qualified to trade futures. Bottom line answer is you can lose your ass trading futures. And just so a quick note, what we're trying to achieve in the room is to highlight where our highest odds trades are and what those trades might look like. So first, when we came into the room, I want to pull this up because if you'll look, you'll notice that I posted the market yesterday's review and today's preview online. You can find it on the blog. But additionally, we had, where are my files? Find it. But I know where I have it. Here we go. Twitter stream. Let's find my other Twitter stream. There we are. Media. There we go. So I'm going to drag this up. So everyone can see it. So, wow, it's small. I don't know how to make it bigger. I don't know why it's not bigger. And I wanted it without any kind of distraction. So let's go through the key areas. We had Tuesday's high. This was the white zone. The white zone is indicative of where I think buyers or sellers will remain in control. As long as we were above that point, I thought buyers would be in overall control, right? And you'll see last night we drifted right down into 52.50. You'll notice the zone's a little bit wider than normal, and that's because the HVN in that area was wider than normal. We then pushed up to Tuesday's high. Then this morning when we came in, you can see we gapped right into resistance. I had this marked. Can't see it, but I had this marked as a key area. And then I also noted in the notes last night that if you took this area short, you had to allow room to the double top that had been sitting here prior. Right now, a couple quick notes about that. We were not focused on shorting this morning, nor did we short, for a couple of reasons. First of all, on momentum indicators, which I usually do not use in ES, but made sense today. If you'll look, coming in using a very simple 20 period EMA, and you look on both the 5-minute and the 15-minute, here's the 15, right? You can see we broke to the upside at about 6 in the morning, and that is as trend up as trend up gets, right? You got it confirmed again on the 5 minutes, right? And you can see that once again on the 5-minute chart. We were trend up coming into the day. And all I wanted to do, and I mentioned this last night, I wanted long. My upside target is 23.80 for the day. So we haven't quite gotten there, and we kind of have the Fed in the way in the meantime, so probably won't get there until after the Fed news announcement. Okay, so next, my plan was to get long, and what I wanted to happen off the open, which was right here, was I wanted a backside test into this 23, I'm going to go back to the chart, into this, after we opened up, I was hoping that we would gap, reject out of the key area, and backside test 2360 to 2358, Tuesday's high, and I wanted a long out of there. Or plan B was we got to 2367, rejected, backside tested Globex high at 2363 and a quarter, and then took off to the upside, right? The market rarely cooperates with you. It's a violent area, right? And I did not get my long. I did not get this long out of the gate. I looked at it. It's very difficult for me on a gap up just to take a long. I'm normally a contra trader. So next, this is important, okay? Also, I want to show one other thing. If you look at NQ, NQ led us. Wow, I cannot show you NQ because it won't let me pull this chart up for some reason. But I bet, let me pull this chart up. No, it won't let me do that either. It'll let me do this. It won't let me do it. Oh, you know, I'm in drawing mode here. Here we go. I'll pull this over. There we are. So if you look at NQ, same concept. I'm looking at multiple time frames to try to figure out what's going on. The 15 minutes really all that matters here. NQ was on a tear. We were clearly above London, London and Asia highs coming into the day, and we open drove higher. And if you look a little further back on this chart, you'll see additionally that this was the prior high. I don't think we've been higher than that. I want to make sure that I'm not wrong about that. That's correct. That was the prior high. You can see that in this corrective phase, we never pulled down more than 50%, right? So remember the key to trading. Anyone can draw everything that I'm drawing up here. Anybody can draw that. There's nothing special about this, right? Being a good chartist is not equal to being a good trader. Anybody will tell you that. Okay, so now let's get rid of this chart. So we knew NQ was leading, breaking out to new highs. ES is not at a new high. It's lagging. The target is 2380. This is my key area. You see they attempted to reject out of it. Anyone who shorted it, right, which I thought was crazy this morning to short. Anyone who shorted it, you had about 2 seconds to grab a point before you got annihilated to the upside. And we ran straight through. Now notice, part of being a good chartist is also noting when there's no support resistance in between, right? Notice we come right to 2373 to 2375. Since we are trending up, I do not want to guess whether we are going to have a failed trend day or not. Even though there was tick divergence through here, I've seen plenty of examples where there's tick divergence and the market keeps trucking through. I wasn't interested in the short. And the most important part of this feature here was that I was frustrated that my plan was to get along here. So in my head, I'm going, dude, I should have been long 2360 and dumping 2373 for a 13-point trade and hitting it out of the park, right? Now notice, if you don't manage your emotions properly through this process, okay, if you did not, what you did was you said, and I've seen this happen to many traders, I didn't get my long, I'm going to short here. Oh, that didn't work, I'm going to short the doji. Oh, that didn't work, I'm going to short the first red bar. And so if you're a very, very good chartist, you had this as your support resistance, right? And you expected rejection out of here, and maybe you did or did not get lucky. But if you suck as a trader or you have a difficult time controlling your emotions, you probably got run over all the way through here, or worse, you got so frustrated that you look for a way to take a long early in here. So if you look at the market preview that I put out last night, you'll say what I was looking for is if we broke above this double top at 2367, my plan was to take the backside test. So realize I'm doing three things. I'm charting, I'm reading price action, I'm managing my emotions, which I'm using my journal to manage. And what I'm saying to myself here is I had a good trade, right? I had a good read. I did not get a fill. That is no reason for me to be upset. I then took the most aggressive long, okay? And several people in the room did too. I was looking for responsive buyers at the 50 retrace, right? You pretty much had to be perfect on your entry and exit. I'll consider myself lucky on that particular trade. And then our bigger setup. Look at the rotation down from 2375, roughly, right? Right down to 2365. 10 points. Golden rotation for us, right? Into that 10-point golden rotation, tick divergence, right? So I stepped in front a little bit early. I was looking right at the backside test. 10-point rotation, tick divergence, rotation back up. And where do we rotate back to? We came back about to the mid, right? Again, if people were trying to short up here, yes, you were able to get 1 or 2 points out of there, but you have missed the bigger picture as we were pushing right back up to 2374 in front of the Fed. And my guess is we're probably moving to 2380 by the close of the day. So if I'd been able to grab my trade here early in the day, I think I would have had a monster day. As it was, I was able to grab 2 trades, and I did it in real time in the room. One right here, another right here, and the adjustment I made on that second trade. So the problem when you're looking at videos or someone's talking in the market is they act like they always know what they're doing and there's no way anything can go wrong, right? I cut trade size here to half size. Why? I had to accept the fact because I don't know what's going to happen in the market, right? I don't know what's going to happen next. And I took this trade before I got this tick divergence here. I had to accept the fact that we might sweep all the way through and come back for a backside test of Tuesday's high. That meant I was going to have a fairly sizable loss, right? So I cut my normal trade size in half on this trade, and my intention was to add on the tick divergence. The problem was the tick divergence came and left so quick that I didn't have a chance to add the second half of my trade, and I then kicked the majority of this trade at 23.70.50. I think was my best scale on this, and I'm all out. I made my money for the day, and I'm moving on. I'm not a trader that's trying to capture the entire move. I'm just trying to capture the highest odds, manage my emotions, and stay within my trade plan, right? Stay within my trade plan because the market's not going to give me what I want every single day. And that's what I accomplished today. That's what I believe most of the guys in the room, from the feedback I got, most of them accomplished that. And what we're doing is exactly what any good trading psychologist would tell you. We're taking the three separate qualities, right? I'm good at charting. I already know that I'm good at charting. I don't need a pat on the back or extra work there. My charts are good, right? I generally know first touch of the zones are going to work for me. I generally know that, right? The next part that I need to do is I need to manage my emotions. That's where my journal comes in. Let's kill that for a second. That's where my journal comes in. And what I write down every day is, what can I improve? So if I can improve, I would have noticed that I should have taken a risk on this initial candle, right, with a stop just 2 ticks below the low. That would have gotten me my in. Instead, I was kind of focused on getting a couple bars back before I got the pop, but that's all right. This kind of day doesn't happen too often, so I'm not worried about that. The next part of my emotional management was not letting the frustration force me into an early short or to go off my trade plan, which called for me not to short today because buyers are in absolute control. And then the next part was that if I could get a pullback to mid, I wanted a long. And then if I could get a backside test of the double top breakout, I wanted to be long from that location. And I accomplished both of those things, right, without getting agitated. So I want to keep it brief. That was 12 minutes. There's other little things that obviously we go in and look for to improve the edge to the course of the day. But we had our primary things that we wanted. We had our golden 10-point rotation. We had our tick divergence into the lows. We had a backside test of a breakout location. And if you'd been patient, my tip of the hat to Ron there, you got your rotation from anywhere from 67 to 65 all the way back to 72. It was almost a 7-point trade, and I'm pretty happy with 2 to 3 points a day. So if you can get 7, that's even better. And I've accomplished my 2 to 3 points for the day. So that's my job. Fed is coming up this afternoon. That adds more uncertainty that I'm comfortable dealing with, since I can just come back tomorrow and make my money the regular way without having to worry about what the Fed's doing. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. My guess is we will push higher after the Fed. NQ's on fire. There's no point in fighting that trade. So anyways, guys, anyone in the room have any questions? Now's the time. Because otherwise I'm going to wrap it up and go to lunch. Brian has a question. Brian, your question is, why would you argue not going short this initial candle right here, Brian? Okay, so that comes from the momentum trading that I've been talking about. Look at your pre-market coming into the day. There's wrong chart. That's the day time frame. Let's see if we can't find the, here we go. Why would you want to short that? Like, that's just buyers in total control. You're just guessing where they're going to run out of gas. And you can see So I'm not going to explain this. I use this for scalping method, but not as a contra method. You can see everywhere anyone tried to short through here it was just a suicide mission. Okay, so here's the 5 minute. We couldn't get underneath the 20 period moving average. We couldn't get under VWAP. There was just nothing. And you can see on that 15, we just backside tested the 20 period moving average on the 15 from the 24, and even the 2 minute was pretty damn strong. The 2 minute was the only thing showing remote weakness, and it slammed right into VWAP and found responsive buyers. Let's see. No, Brian, I disagree with you. So what Brian said is, he goes, I think that's hindsight because you said you wanted to buy a retrace down, so you don't know that all in the first 5 minutes. Sure I do. I said before the open, right? I said this was my key location right here. Enki's pushing the high, right? And I said I wanted to look for an excuse, right? Meaning a rotation down to buy. At the time when we opened, I wanted to buy the 16 3/4 to 58 3/4, and I also would have wanted to buy this white zone if we could have gotten into it. And I know that works because I know my zones are very well placed in that location. If I bought 16 3/4 to 58, I would have had to allow the gap fill, right? So then I'm going in just like I did over here, right? I didn't know that it was going to stop here either, right? I'm looking for help for my tick divergence, right? And my 50-60 retrace. I'm just looking for evidence. So, but that being said, I wasn't talking about the long being automatic. All I was saying was I was simply not willing to short. Brian, I disagree with you when the market's already trend up out of London. That's all I can tell you, flat out. That's about as strong a trend as you can get pre-market. Go look at your pre-market days. They very rarely look like this. Most of the time, they look balanced. Most of the time, they look like this. Most of the time, they look like this. Most of the time, they look like this, right? Just no commitment one way or the other. But when I see this, if you can't see that that's straight up coming into the U.S. Open, I don't know what to say. So I know I'm probably missing your question, and I know you're a good trader and you've been trading great the last couple of weeks. I'm just saying when I see this right here, that's about as steep an angle. I do that angle of attack of the market there on that 15 minute and that 5 minute just tells me to stop and wait for the market to reorganize, break a swing low, establish a swing low, break a swing low, and give me a 50-60 retrace. Then I know it's all right to go short. But otherwise, I'm just looking for a way to jump on to that long trade, or more importantly, just not get run over from the short side, right? And that's part of the emotional development. We can talk about that in your coaching session, one-on-one. Anyone else have any questions? Randy, you did good today. I will have a nice rest of the day. I'm going to go enjoy patio someplace. Okay, I'll talk to you later, guys. Have a great day. Oh, by the way, I always forget. If you'd like to join our room, send me an email. You're welcome to have a 5-day free trial in the room, courtesy of me, tradeandperform@gmail.com. And if you're struggling trading, this is my last note. If you're struggling trading and you're losing money, stop. Go get some help, right? From me, there's a lot of good resources out there, right? Paper trade till you can paper trade consistently, and then trade money. Realize just because you can paper trade well does not mean you can trade real money well. But if you can't paper trade well, you cannot trade real money well. It doesn't work the other way, right? So you got to have one before the other. Anyways, Talk to you later, guys. NQ's banging new highs. I expect ES to push to 2380. I'll talk to y'all later.